And Charles, you're next. He just got here, now he's up.
Hal kept my favorite parking spot for me right there.
Don't break it, man.
Oh, okay, I get it. I'm new at this. All right. Well, you know, it was Valentine's Day recently, right? So I tried to write something inspired by Valentine's Day, and it kind of went all over into maybe some other places. Anyway, this is what came out. No title. Roses are red, violets are blue. I am the lonesome poet. Who the F are you? I am the ghost of Leonard Nimoy on Quaaludes, reading Hallmark greetings cards, forgotten in the back of the rack, but still sparkly under the dust of self-pity, looking to ride hope on a trope. Beam me upside the head into another frontier, somebody to love. So says the alien poet whose heart is clenched inside a velvet verse glove. I am Neil Cassidy, kicking down your door with a bouquet of blowtorches, burning words and eyes you want to hot wire and take for a ride. I am Hafiz, Whitman, Mirabai, et al., trading petals from the compass rose, whose center is everywhere and is already home. Needs no fleshly lover, every living thing met, the infinite under cover of meat, cooked to perfection in the raw now, complete. Well, I'm not well done, not awake yet, but I'll sit like a Buddha and hold that pose. Just one more tongue lashing about my ribbed rack soul. Could I be the lion poet who devours all my prose until one tongue is left dangling, dancing with silence? Maybe silence is the best poem of all. Good luck, I'm going to keep going because I'm the poet who must keep poeting, blowing embers of dream and memory, throwing up sparks to set the sky on fire and dropping tears to call down the great flood. I am the poet who feels like a fraud. I am the poet who wants to burn and be cleansed, to calm this seizure from touching the arc of dark, heartless history, or the algebraic alchemy from the curve of your neck. I despair of the flagrant inadequacy of inanely flowering language, alas. Shall I make that rhyme one more time and call myself a perfect poetic ass? I am the poet who hasn't gotten any for too damn long to really care, but who would love to make love to you with poetry? Ah, but that's the art that tells a lie, that reveals the truth, snatched to conceive a veil verging on swollen cliche, which is to say that all that funky energy has to go somewhere real. I am the poet who masturbates with words, but if you catch one seed of metaphor on some part of your brain, it can be fruitful and not be wasted. What was it that was said that I am compelled to try to repeat when from life's first deep cut I bled? Poet, poet, bleeding sight, how to wash the blood from my night, how to write what feels wrong of my faltering song, merry eagle and eel, the feel and soaring expression, innocence and experience. Poet, poet, gotta get clear, burrow with words to the other side of your fear, then take a look around, sing a joyful sound, and wash away the blood with tears. Laugh out the other side. I am the poet who doesn't give a rip. I am writing words to continue my ego trip. I am just here to be friendly and entertained for a spell. Pay my ticket to the cafe and tell. Buzz, 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 what's the buzz? I'm half-calf, show mostly mellow, a bohemian, bourgeois aesthete sort of fellow with Vincent's worn shoes on my feet, searching for complete, looking for love everywhere but under those soles. feeling out my faith that it resides on Home Street, asleep, asleep. I am every lover of the true word in the flesh. I am compelled to recall the nights with you, or you, or you, the arc of your hips, the song of your sighs, touch of your lips, the forever in your eyes. I am the bliss-hungry caterpillar, your humble bee. It's worth every sting to taste your honey, honey, worth any burn to forge the gorgeous butterfly, any corny line to grow from mere desire to loving sublime. It is for this we crawled from the slime. It is ultimately for this we rhythm and rhyme. Yes, I am the pompous poet pontificating and peddling truths, and I am one of the poetry peddlers who give away humble little sips of our water of life. I am the word forger with the yen to persuade other women and men, move them some way or other. I'm a poet who can't be bothered. My own inner chessboard is life work enough, thank you. I am Stallone with myself, trying to shadowbox myself tough. I swallow raw experience and yell, "Edu!" when the going gets rough. I am trying to make my comeback to the universal womb, go the distance with the ever-hungry feeling grinning along my side, like a wolf trying to crack the egg of the other. Other what? Other whom? I am Sappho, ancient poetess, poet in a dress. What do words mean stuck to you, to me? How to use language not to imprison but to free. I am a poet who wonders how it feels to be a sister or mother, a tasered or deported brother. Where do all the races and genders meet? Where will they march out their secrets in poetic feet, or come free in verse that dances like Salome at the price of my reasoning head? What do I hold in reservation? What treaties have I broken with the blood in me that's red? I am somebody who wants to see everyone as the unique, brilliant poem they are. I am somebody a little more so for you listening to me in our little poetry show. Poet, poet, blathering bright, who do you think you are this night? I am the spark from the same fire as you, the light that even made the dark, the endless rainbow of what is true. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. And up next, Chris.
So once again, we return to Antonio Machado land. Tony. Wanderer, your footsteps are the road and nothing more. Wanderer, there is no road. You make the way as you go. And as you go, you make the way. upon glancing behind, one goes the path that never will be trod again. Wanderer, there is no road, only foam trails upon the sea. Thank you. Thank you, Leo.
She's going to be known by her first name. Valentine Day can come even in hard times, and the contrast makes it more important. Well, anyway, people have been talking about it. It's hard times. And I finished up about 9 months ago a rather major collection of poems called The Crowning Skull of Earth. It's about Auschwitz and the travail of the birth of modernity and the meaning for modernity. And the lead-off poem in it is called Vey in Ravensbrück, a woman's prison 50 miles north of Berlin. It was not a death camp, but it became a death camp, and it was for just women. And I discovered in reading about Ravensbrück and pursuing it in some depth, there's some very fine artists and poets that recorded their experiences there, and including falling in love and trying to keep their love alive in the middle of what had to have been the hardest of times, to be holding on to your Valentine in the middle of a concentration camp. This poem is called Night on Serbia by a woman named Zofia, Z-O-F-I-A, and Malinakowska. I'm terrible at her name. But she wrote about laying with her sweetheart on one of the beds in those mass barracks where there can be hundreds of women, which is like 3 narrow planks, and that's what you got. And I'm going to read the poem that I read by her, and I wrote a kind of responsive poem to it. So it shows you how it flowed into me and came back out again. And I'm a very different person, and I have none of the experiences that she's had there, and I'm, of course, male. But anyway, I'm going to read her poem, and then I'm going to read the poem that I wrote in response to it that went into the book. This is the poem called Night on Serbia. That is the ladies' block of people from Serbia, because they usually divided them Jews, Serbians, Polish, like that. And this is in the middle, about 1944, I think, winter, really, when it was going bad there. And she is able to say, "At night on a narrow piece of heaven, shine some cool distant stars. Do not say anything to me. You do not need. 100 villages were captured in several towns. Both lie staring into the darkness, listening to the breathing, dormant heads. Do not tell me that someone out there sobbing in despair. I do know. Me, well, words fail. In the distance, the city sleeps over the ruins. Spotlights shine ghostly towers. Do not say that despair flowing with tears. We do not know the tears, you and me. Key sound can be heard and someone stops. Approaching, he stood, no, he passed by. Today came only 10 sentences. Do not say, not for us, because the time will come When the pale dawn will look through the bars, both hard to fall asleep without dreams, wake us, salvo, and then appeal. Do not say, you don't not need. I know no words. And I should say the sentences mean there was a certain amount of people who were to be executed each day to keep up with the quota. So I wrote this section as a response in a way to it, and it's called Two Women. After lights out, hell recedes to the horizon, and sweet darkness descends like an ocean with depths where, out of sight, soft stirrings and softer sighs move like fish in a garden untroubled by light. An embrace on a plank soft as palms in prayer. The lies of the world are far like distant mountains and muted thunder. As if we were each a fruit, a pit of hunger at the core, we consume one another imprisoned in liberation, needing not more. At dawn we join the brute mechanism and its routine of iron. We wait shivering like grass for the lion to pass. I swear, beyond this square and the walls, between us and all out there, like small ocean islands, untouched old villages stir. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. BJ. Whoop.
You like my coat of many colors? Yes. It's from Nepal. That's better. Okay. These are two poems. They're both from Robert Service. Robert Service is well known for his Tales of the Yukon, but he wrote volumes and volumes more, and this is some of it. Some is better than others. I'm going to do this one first. I like this one because it appeals to me, and anybody who's ever done spoken word will relate to this. This helps. My poem may be yours indeed in melody and tone, if in its rhythm you can read the music of your own. If in its pale woof you can weave your lovelier design, 'twill make my lyric, I believe, more yours than mine. I'm but a prompter at best. Crude cues are all I give. In simple stanzas I suggest 'tis you who make them live. My bit of rhyme is but a frame, and if my lines you quote, I think although they bear my name, 'tis you who wrote. Yours is the beauty that you see in any words I sing. At magic and the melody, 'tis you, dear friend, who bring. Yea, by the glory and the gleam, the loveliness that lures your thought to starry heights of dream, the poem's yours. That's it.
It's not it. Where is this other one? Sorry. So as I was reading these poems, I realized that about 50% of them are about wine. And so I figured it would be uncool to read Lipo in a bar without reading something about wine and being drunk, because that was apparently one of his favorite things. This is called Drinking Alone Beneath the Moon. Among the blossoms, a single jar of wine, no one else here, I ladle it out myself. Raising my cup, I toast the bright moon, and facing my shadow makes friends three. Though moon has never understood wine, and shadow only trails along behind me. Kindred, a moment with moon and shadow, I've found a joy that must infuse spring. I sing, and moon rocks back and forth. I dance, and shadow tumbles into pieces. Sober, we're together and happy. Drunk, we scatter away into our own directions. Intimates forever, we'll wander carefree and meet again in Star River distances. Surely, if heaven didn't love wine, there would be no wine star in the heaven. And if earth didn't love wine, surely there would be no wine spring on earth. Heaven and earth have always loved wine, so how could loving wine shame heaven? I hear clear wine called enlightenment, and they say murky wine is like wisdom. Once you drink enlightenment and wisdom, why go searching for gods and immortals? 3 cups, and I've plumbed the great way, a jar full, and I've merged with occurrence appearing of itself. Wine's view is lived. You can't preach doctrine to the sober. It's April in Chang'an, these 1,000 blossoms making a brocade of daylight. Who can hear spring's lonely sorrows? Who can face it without wine? It's the only way. Success or failure, life long or short, are fates given by Changemaker at birth. But a single cup evens out life and death. Our 10,000 concerns unfathomed, and once I'm drunk, all heaven and earth vanish, leaving me suddenly alone in bed, forgetting that person I am even exists. Of all our joys, this must be the deepest. Okay, let's see. I have 2 more. One's very short and one's a little longer. Sometimes I'm a fan of the poem with a really, really, really long title, and this is one of those. And these guys wrote on walls a lot. A lot of these poems are blah, 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 that I wrote on a wall. Don't know what that's about, but anyway. This one's called Before My Boat Enters Chutang Gorge and I Leave Eastern Pa Behind, I Climb the Highest Wu Mountain Peak. Returning late, I write this on a wall. After traveling thousands of river miles, a sea-born moon rising full 15 times, I'm about to start up the Chutang Gorge, so I stop to hike among Wu Mountain Peaks. Wu Mountain Peaks towering inexhaustibly above Pa lands, stretching away, limitless. I climb fringes of sunlight, clutching vines, and rest on rocky heights up beyond mist, then race on, soon reaching the cragged summit. There, no haze to the end of sight, I look down cinnabar valleys left behind, then up into azure heaven. I've come so near, azure heaven, as if I could reach it. I could sail away to who knows where on the Star River. Gazing at clouds, I know Shun's ancient tomb and river thoughts reach earth-cradling seas. Wandering around, so much to see in late lonesome light, quiet thoughts grow countless. Snowdrifts blaze, lightning empty valleys, and the wind sings through forest trees. On the trail home, twilight comes, and yet the beauty of things still doesn't rest. Gibbons call early along the cold river, the moon among pine shadows already risen, and boundless, how boundless, moonlight and the sorrow in a gibbon's pure cry, unbearable as I toss my walking stick aside and leave the mountains for this lone boat.
We're rolling? Really? All right. Well, this is The Muse Has Struck. This is a poem that Delane handed me that you gave to Delane to give to me. And that was this morning, and at 2 o'clock, this pretty much kind of was finished being created. So I came over. I wanted to present this. See if we can pull this off. But like you say, only fresh horse manure steams. Your footprints on the road, and
nothing more. Wanderer, there is no road. You make the way as you go, and as you go, you make the way. And upon glancing behind, one sees the path that never will be trod again. Wanderer, there is no road, only farm trails upon the sea.